Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Simeon Henderson Show, where we are giving a voice to the people. It is time to get back in full effect. I'm glad to be back. I was off for a week because I was in the community helping the people, passing out survival kits, masks, hand sanitizer, and just doing some good in the neighborhood during this COVID-19 thing, and just trying to be an inspiration and a help to people everywhere. So I'm ready to get this show started. We have a great show lined up for you today. I have my guest, Alicia, Samaan, is going down. She's a casting director for 4-Star Casting, motivational speaker. And you probably saw her on Bad Girls Club season 10, but now she's gone from being a bad girl to helping people out. And she's doing it at a rate that's just, she's just going and going. But we're about to get into it. So hold on to your seats because it's time to start the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. I am privileged enough to be doing one of the first interviews with Ms. Samaan, and during this COVID time, and I want to get right into it. How you doing today?
Wait, time out. You are gonna butcher my name. Yesterday it was Alicia, and today it's my last name. But don't worry.
I said it wrong again.
You did. It's Samaan.
It's Samaan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? See, that's why people need to just have regular names, and we don't have to worry about messing them up.
Oh no, there's nothing regular in my life. You can't be regular over here.
Do you know,
Alicia Samaan.
Do you know how often people mess my name up? Simeon turns to Simon, to Simeon, to Simone, everything.
It's that E.
People will butcher my name like they're cutting up some meat.
Same. So I'm so used to it. And when people actually get it right, I'm like, oh, you pronounced my name right. Alicia
Samaan.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. So what you sipping on? You got some water, you got some coffee, tea, what?
This is some Jack Daniels and lemon. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. It's some Herbalife tea and aloe.
What? Say that again.
It's Herbalife tea and aloe. So let me just change.
I drink that every day.
You do?
Every day.
So you burn 80 to 100 calories, you speed up your metabolism, you boost your energy, and it helps with digestion, it helps with your nails, your hair, your skin. So you do that every day? Shameless plug, you like that, didn't you?
Every single day. I got my mango aloe, and I got my Thai tea, and I have my Best Defense. I drink it every day.
Oh my God, that's awesome. How long have you been on the products?
7 years.
Stop. You started Herbalife when I started Herbalife.
7 years. I've been in Herbalife, and I it's the bomb. I love it. I love it. I do love it. So and we're just talking about healthy stuff. If you look at my page, I put up a picture, and I call it the Besimbolic latte, and it's the coffee protein with the vanilla protein, and I blend it together, make it nice and hot, and then I have my latte, my protein, 30 grams of protein in my hot latte.
Look at you. Yes.
Yes. So
yes.
You have to keep it together.
I love it. I love it. Yes, this morning I actually had a banana caramel shake with a little spoonful of the PB2 and then chocolate protein. So I kind of made like my own type of frappuccino. That's what I call it.
You got to try to make protein waffles, Herbalife protein waffles.
They're so good. In your waffle maker?
Yes.
You do that?
Yes. So thanks to my daughter wanted a waffle maker, so it's a little one too. And so I made a couple, and then it's cool because my sons, I've been making some keto food, and they've been eating it with me. I didn't think they would like it, but they like it. So you know.
Dope. Yeah, we have Herbalife pancakes, waffles. You could do cookies. I've tried it all.
You could do donuts.
Donuts. I saw the donut recipe. I haven't done them yet. That is also an option. Look at us. Yes, go Team Herbalife.
So here we go. So let's go. I'm gonna get right into it, right?
Let's go.
You've been doing your thing. You've been doing the vision boards. You've been doing the motivating. You've been doing the working out, and all of this stuff. The COVID has pushed us back a little bit.
Yeah.
In a sense of we can't move around, but you've still been moving. But I want to start off with this. Let's go to the before the directing, before the speaking. Let's go back. Let's start with Bad Girls Club, right?
Okay.
Let's start there. So, what was it like for you going on that show, and why did you go on the show?
Okay, so that's a two-part question. So we'll answer the first of why. So why did I go on the Bad Girls Club? At the time, I was a music manager and a PR here in Chicago. My intention at the time was to be a vessel, vessel for the Chicago music industry. I wanted to help put people in position to win. I wanted to give them more exposure. I developed an online radio show, an online radio / TV show, and that basically highlighted all of the rappers, all the musicians here in Chicago. From there is when I met a talent who I just totally believed in. I loved him. He was he was 16 at the time. I decided to take him on and sign him to be my first artist. From there, I gained another artist who I did PR work for. So one day I remember I was sitting on my mom's bed watching TV with her, sipping a margarita, and I was like, Mom, I need to get like Instagram famous. I will never forget this conversation. I was like, I need to like blow up. I need to get more followers. I just need to figure this out. Because I was a music manager, I was a PR. So at the time, my thought was, well, if I have more followers, that'll give my artist more exposure. And I always compared myself to Diddy. So in my mind, I'm like, what would Diddy do? It's like, go hard for your artist. So that's exactly what I did. I was sitting in my mom's bed and I started Googling TV shows, auditions, casting calls, and then the Bad Girls Club popped up. And I looked at my mom and I was like, what's the Bad Girls Club? She looked at me and she was like, oh yeah, you'd be perfect for the show. She's like, you should do it. I'm like, what is it? And then I started doing some research and I'm like, I can hold it down. Why not? So the audition process started. 2 weeks later, so I filled out an application. Long story short, 2 weeks later, they did not get back to me. So you have to have that relentless attitude. And even back then, I definitely had that. So I saw that there was a casting call, a face-to-face, in-person casting call that was happening out in South Carolina. So I thought it was a brilliant idea to be like, okay, go down to South Carolina. Once they meet you, once they see you face-to-face, then of course they'll want you on the show. It was actually 7 years this coming weekend, or 2 weeks. Memorial Day weekend, me and one of my best friends went. And on the way down to South Carolina, I got the brilliant idea of stopping in Atlanta to celebrate Memorial Day. So while we were in Atlanta, I actually broke a nail. Don't worry, guys. This makes sense. Trust me. I broke a nail. And so I told him, like, we can't go to Bad Girls Club auditions with a broken nail. So before we go to South Carolina, I have to get my nail done. So he drops me off at a nail salon, got my nail fixed. And as I was sitting there, my phone was next to me. An alert popped up in my email that said, hi, Alicia, this is so-and-so from the Bad Girls Club. We received your application. We would like to meet you for a face-to-face interview in Chicago on Saturday. And I'm like, but I'm going to South Carolina to meet y'all. Like, you guys want me to go back up to Chicago? So I call them up. I was like, yeah, we're about to kick it in Atlanta one more day, and then we're turning around and going back home. And then long story short, the interviewing process began. And 2-3 months later, I was on a one-way flight to Atlanta to film the Bad Girls Club season 10.
So you decided to go on that show because you had a plan.
I had a plan.
You had a plan,
Mhm.
and you realized that in order to further your business and the things that you were trying to do, that you needed to get out there and be more visible. So, I mean, what better way to do it than on a reality show that millions of people watch, right?
Right.
And that process, and I'll say this, I can say it now because it's over. I went through the process of being on Big Brother.
Okay.
And I actually made it through the whole process.
Okay.
But I ended up turning it down because it was at the time when my mom was really sick.
Okay.
And you know, when you go on those shows, you lose all contact with your family. You can't talk to anybody. And I even talked to the casting people, and I was like, they said, well, you have to think about it, because they picked me. And but I had to think, you know, do I want to be away at this show and not have any contact with my mom and something happened?
Exactly.
You know, so it was one of those things where I was thinking of what the show could do for me, publicity wise, you know. And I know crazy things happen on the show, but in my eyes, Big Brother wasn't as crazy as some of them. But you know, but when you got there, what was your thought process and what was your mental like? You're going into Bad Girls Club. So did you go in as somebody that you weren't?
No, I really went in as myself. When I went in, it was like the first day, and they didn't ever air this, but the first day was like an argument between me and the rest of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that argument is kind of what set up the feeling for the rest of the show. Because basically, you know, they wanted me to do something that I wasn't going to do. And so from day one, I'm like, I'm not that type of girl. Like, you can't force me to do anything that I don't want to do. So I felt like that really divided me and like my best friend in the house with the rest of the house. It was like the first day. So after that, it was like I just lived with a wall up. I lived with just a lot of, I just had to be ready every single day. You know, it's like you're in a house with 6 other girls. You don't have your phone. And just like you said, production controls everything. So it's not like I could, you know, text somebody. There was no books. There was no magazines. We had one phone that we all had to share. And then the phone conversations, you know, were all aired, all monitored. So, you know, if I said like, oh my God, I'm over here and all I want to do is like go home, it's like click, the production can like shut the phone call off, like, and then the phone off for the next 24 hours. And it's like, you're stuck in a house with 6 other girls. So, you know, we drank a lot. We hung out a lot. I mean, what can you do when you're in a mansion in the middle of Atlanta with cameras all around you?
So what was it like, all of those different personalities? And this is the thing about reality shows that people don't know. You guys could be having a conversation and the cameras aren't rolling. And if they hear that conversation, because they're listening to everything, they'll say, oh, wait, stop, you know, because they don't want to miss that moment. They don't want to miss that moment. So now you have to literally stop talking about something that might be important or interesting, because they want to capture that on the camera. And
got to a point where we would just like pause and be like, hold on, there's nothing.
It's kind of like when I talked to you about the interview, we started having a conversation about motivating and things like that. And remember, I was like, no, stop. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Because it's interesting. You have some of your best conversations, you know, when the cameras aren't rolling, right? So let me ask you this. So, and this will be my last, I'm gonna get off of the Bad Girls Club thing because it's leading me into my next segue. But as you were there and you were going through this time period of being on television, millions of people watching you, what was it, how important was it for you, even though you were on Bad Girls Club, how important was it for you for people to see who Alicia really was?
Ooh. Well, on the show, I feel like the world saw a very like hurt version of me because while I was on the show, so much violence and abuse and so much was happening that it actually brought up a lot of past trauma, past like hurt feelings that were in myself, that was in myself. So when I feel like looking back while it was going on and while it was happening, I hated so much. I disliked that person that I was and that the world saw. But it was unfortunate that when I was really brought into the house, I have a strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those girls I feel like were on the show because they wanted exposure for what they were doing in their lives. And at the time, I was a music manager. I was a PR. So I was very business professional. When
Right.
people in Chicago found out that I was actually on the show, they were like so confused. But like these people also didn't understand that like this was my past. In high school, senior year, like we got into so many fights. It was crazy. Even after high school, it was like I was always in some sort of drama. It was like I hung out with the wrong people. I was doing some just like stuff that I would never do now or like ever again in my life. But that was the person that was like slowly coming out of me on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And what that ended up turning into was me seeing a version of myself that I never wanted to be again. So when I left the show, that was when I made a promise to myself that I'm leaving that Alicia behind. And no matter what I do moving forward, I will never give people what they want to see because that version is, I'm done with that version of Alicia. And that was the biggest challenge for me. I feel like if I would have been the bad girl that people really thought, I was on the show. I was on the show, but if I was that person living up to their expectations based off of the version they saw on the show, then I would have absolutely been booked for more club appearances. I would have been making more money. I would have been doing all of those things, but that wasn't fueling or feeding the person that I ultimately wanted to be. So that's where the dark path came from. That's when I became very like suicidal, angry, depressed because I hated who people saw me as. I hated it. And it was like every day a battle, trying to just show people like, no, that's like an old version of me. I don't want to be that chick either.
Wow. So I don't want to miss this teachable moment because people are going to see this. And you said something that I think is really key, especially with the times that we're going through right now with the quarantine and the COVID. There's so many people that are dealing with depression, anxiety, and fear, and even suicidal thoughts and things like that. What can you say to people, or what can you let us know? What are some of the things that you did to help bring you out of that state of mind and that state of being?
So it really started with, first and foremost, it started with who I was hanging out with. So don't get me wrong. I love my girls. I love my friends who I was friends with back then. They're still a part of my life. But however, my lifestyle at that moment, okay, I wasn't a music manager anymore. Nobody wanted to book my artist. They wanted to book me. So I figured out like I was the manager. It's like, oh, wait, no, what's your rate? Like, can you get on an interview? So it was like that business just completely like, it just blew up. So at that point in my life, my lifestyle was waking up, honestly, going to my mom's backyard because I was living with my mom, pouring a drink. So it was like cranberry and vodka, Jaeger, like anything you could think of, first thing in the morning. I was a cigarette smoker. Actually, my 8-year or 7-year anniversary was last week or this week coming up. So I would smoke a cigarette and then that's it. Like that was my life. And then it was like, okay, like around 4 or 5 o'clock, start getting ready. And then by 9 o'clock, head to the city and go to a club. And it was like, this isn't the life that I want to live at all. So the first thing that I had to do was decide who I wanted to be surrounded by. And who I wanted to be surrounded by was really, really, really positive people that were not drinking, that were not smoking, not doing the things that I was trying to quit. But I didn't have any of those people in my life at all. So audiobooks became my best friends. I started YouTube University, just searching like motivation, keyword motivation, success training, just like different things like that to really start conditioning my brain to think the way that I wanted to really think.
Right.
It was really applied action every single day. Every time something negative popped into my brain, it was like, no, think positive. Every time I wanted to like lash out at someone, it was like, don't lash out, like keep it within, like take it together. You know, it was just like a process. So definitely it's the people you surround yourself with. Second is what you listen to, what you watch. That matters so much. The third is living up to whatever goal you have. So at the time, my number one goal in life was to work out. So every single day, it's like, get outside, move your body. It was like my lungs were shot. It was like I was detoxing. My liver was like, this is water and not alcohol. Like it was a lot going on in me, but it was all about who I was hanging out with, what I was listening to, and what I did every day. So physical exercise, physical activity, that is so important. And really, honestly, faith, you know, having faith in, and for those of you watching, you could believe in whatever you believe in. It's beautiful, as believe in something, but at the end of the day, believe in yourself and have faith in yourself. And I always kept that vision of what I wanted for myself and really what I wanted for my parents, because they're a big part of my why. I just want to take care of them. So yeah.
Hey, okay, cool. Thank you. So, so this is so cool. And that's what I love about the show. It's about a real conversation with real people, because you never know who's going through these things or who's gone through what. And we get to just open up, and they get to see the realness of who you are. They see a personality that's been on TV, that's been in the know and around all these people, but they see that you're human. They see the humanity in you. And I think that's so important. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more from my guest, Alicia, Samaan. And I want to give you guys a quick word from one of my sponsors, Recon Credit Repair. If you have bad credit, you need to get it together. I'll tell you right now, I'm getting mine together. They are doing wonders for me. Big shout out to my personal credit repair guy, AC. So check out this quick word from my sponsor, Recon Credit.
Facebook was a thing anymore.
All right, guys. So I am sitting here with Alicia. Yeah, I'm back. she's multitasking, everybody.
Actually, I was low-key trying to find you on Facebook, because somebody asked how they can find this on Facebook, but I don't know how.
You could just Simeon Henderson, or they could just put Simeon Henderson in, or they could have gone to your page if you shared it.
I did.
So here we go. So this is pretty cool. This thing. So now I want to get into, and you already started on it. We're going to finish this conversation with talking about the motivational things and just what's going on in the world right now. So you do something all the time, and I don't even think you know that I know this, but you do something called the 5 things.
Okay. Right? I do? I don't know. Maybe.
it's you talk about different things that can help people, and you're always giving nuggets and tidbits, just inspiring people and motivating people to be their best. Why is it so important for you to inspire people?
Oh my God, I love that question. Why is it so important to me to inspire people? Honestly, because I know what it took for me to achieve my goals. It took a lot of change and a lot of help and a lot of swallowing my pride, releasing my ego, and allowing people to really tell me about myself. And I feel like that is so hard for a lot of people. So, for me personally, a lot of my followers saw me on the Bad Girls Club. They saw me physically fight. So, in my mind, it's like, I was really that person and you guys saw it. You guys were a witness to it. I will never physically hit a person to this day. I don't even try to like yell, like, no, never. However, I believe that my change is so obvious. Like, I was about to swear, I don't BS. I don't try to pretend I'm something I'm not. When I'm vulnerable, when I want to share a moment, whether it's a moment of happiness or a moment of tears, when God gives me that voice inside to share this story, that's just what I do. And it's really to just give people encouragement that they can be everything that they want to be. When I started my journey, I lacked confidence. I lacked everything you can think about to help you become successful. I didn't have this confidence. I didn't have this faith. I didn't have this strong of a belief. So my goal every single day when I wake up is to help at least one person believe in themselves. Just at least one person.
There it is, and I think that's the key, because as motivators and encouragers, you get so caught up in wanting to help everybody or more people than you think you can, or that but you can't. You have to understand and know that people are getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You might not see it. They might not say anything to you, but you have to understand that the message that you're putting out, that it's worthy, and it is being received. But you have to have enough within yourself to understand that you just have to stay on your path and walk in your purpose. And your purpose, if it's motivating people, you have to keep doing it. And you can't look at the numbers, whether it's 1 or 1,000. You're still affecting change in people, and that's what you have to understand. So when you talk about, let's talk about going from being on the show and people seeing you that way, and people wanting to have Alicia from Bad Girls Club season 10 come and host my event and all of this, because that bad girl persona. And what was it like for you going from the bad girl persona to the motivator? Because people see you as the bad girl, and it's like, how are you gonna come in and motivate me now?
Right. So it was actually May 9th. It was the day after the last, well, it was 2 days after the last episode, but it was the day after my last appearance as Alicia Samaan from the Bad Girls Club. It was actually in Atlanta, believe it or not. That day I made a decision that I will never again do any sort of appearance as Alicia Samaan from the Bad Girls Club. And that decision was one of the hardest decisions I made, because I made that decision. And I swear to God, within an hour, I received an email, because you're going to be tested always. I received an email, and it was a large amount of money to have me come and host. And I just made that promise, and I said, I can't. Because there was no amount of money anybody could pay me. Once that last season finale was a wrap, it was a wrap for me too. And
let me ask you a question. Let's keep it real. I know you said you were done, but when they told you those figures, was it something, that little thing on your shoulder saying, just do it one more time?
You know what? No. At that time, it was like I just got off the plane from Atlanta 2 days before I quit smoking cigarettes. I was just like, no. I went to the house. I went to visit the Bad Girls Club house and just sat in front of there, and it wasn't pink anymore. It was white. And I just cried and I prayed at that moment. And I remember getting off the plane. I only had money from that appearance,
Mm-hmm.
the half of the deposit that they owed me. And yeah, I just refused to be Alicia from the Bad Girls Club ever again.
And I think the thing that I admire about you making that decision is the fact that even if you said that I was going to do it one more time because I need the money and I'm just going to do it for the money, when you did it, you were going to have to go in there and you were going to once again have to be that person that you vowed not to be. And you were going to have to do it just for money. And for you to make that decision was huge. And let me ask you this.
Go for it.
Because you stuck to your guns and you didn't go left, did another opportunity come for you to make some money doing the right thing?
Real talk. So that was the first week of May. 2 weeks later, a guy from Arkansas reached out to me and introduced me to the Herbalife products. I agreed. It was an agreement him and I made that I would shout him out on Instagram. And from that agreement, I drank a shake, I think like a week later, and I got super sick. But again, my body was alcohol, so you drink a shake full of vitamins, your body's gonna be like, girl, what do you have going on in here? And yeah, so my body detoxed. I got super sick. I thought he was trying to kill me. So I basically told him, like, F off, do not call me, do not text me, leave me alone. I'm never doing these products again. And then the truth of the matter is 1 week later, I attempted suicide.
Wow.
1 week later, I attempted suicide. And at 1:17 a.m., the same man texted me, and it was a link. It was just a YouTube link to the movie The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And I pressed play, and I started watching it, and I fell asleep in the middle of it all. And I woke up at 7 o'clock the next morning, a few hours later, and I called him, and I asked him, what can I do for him to leave me alone and stop calling me and texting me, because he was driving me crazy. And I was like over here trying to kill myself. Like, I literally, like, that was my mindset. Like, what can I do that you will, like, leave me alone? Because I'm trying to end my life and you're driving me crazy. And I have a lot of integrity. I keep my word, even back then through all the mess. And he basically said, like, give me 3 weeks. And in these 3 weeks, if you don't like me, if you don't like your results, and if you don't like the products, I'll leave you alone forever and you don't have to shout me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, all right, deal. So I got on the products and I would blow up his phone every day, and I started exercising, and my entire life changed. Wow. And then within a week of that third week, I started doing the business, and I started making more money than I've ever made in my entire life.
Wow. That's cool. That's dope. So I mean, and I don't want to miss this. I want to go over this. You were literally at a point where you just didn't even want to be here anymore, and you were done.
Yep.
You were done. And when you made the decision to, and even in the bad things going on, like you said, with your integrity. So you were doing something, just trying to get this person away from you.
Yeah.
And it ended up changing your life for the better.
Yep.
And where did you go from there?
Oh my God, that's when leadership development kicked in. That's when I met my mentors in LA, and they took a hold of my life and transformed my brain. That's when I started traveling the world and giving people the encouragement to follow their dreams. That's when, like, this whole let's lose weight, let's challenge ourselves, let's be the best, healthiest versions of ourselves all started from that decision.
Okay, cool. That's dope. That's a great story.
Thanks, man.
So let me ask you this question. After all of that and all those things,
all of this, yeah.
you changed your life around, and you're just ready to just encourage and inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? So now, as you're traveling, what were some of the obstacles? What were some of the obstacles along the way? Because even when things are going good and things are at their best, there are going to be obstacles. There are going to be trials. You know, there are going to be tribulations. There are going to be things that are going to try to hinder your forward progress. And that's because you were doing the right thing. what was one of the biggest obstacles that you faced on your way? Because I know when you go from here and you get here, there's no way in the world that something isn't going to try to bring you back down here.
Oh, that's a complex question. I'm going to say this because I know a lot of people can relate to it, and I would say family. Family.
Okay.
was the most challenging part, I think, of my journey, because who doesn't know you better than your family? You know, my brothers saw me from day one up until who I was back then. So they didn't believe the change. Right. And most people aren't. Most people aren't in your life are not going to believe in what you believe in, what you see, because, and I got to say this, our vision is our vision. God gave us our eyes. You can't expect another person to have the same vision as you. So here I was, first telling them, I'm about to be famous, I'm about to be rich, I'm going on the Bad Girls Club, you guys have no idea. And then it's like Alicia comes home, she's completely like brainwashed. We can't even have a real conversation with her. Fast forward 8 months, now this girl put down the bottle of alcohol and picked up a protein shake, and now she's trying to change the world. Like, girl, bye. Right. And that's really how my family was. It was like, who are you? Right. And so me constantly like having to like stay focused on who I really wanted to be was like the most challenging part of my every single day, because you have your old ways tapping back into you, you have your family doubting you, you have your friends looking at you like you're crazy, you know. So it was like I just really wanted my family to be proud of me. Right. I felt like I embarrassed them on national television. I embarrassed myself, you know. So like I wanted them to believe in me. I wanted their support. I wanted their love, and not having it was the most challenging part of my life.
Wow. Okay. So in that same vein, let me ask this question. So we've been in quarantine, right? There's been so much going on in the world. People have just been either just trying to get better, or people have been out of their minds because, or depressed or stressed out because you can't do what you want to do. You're stuck in the house. You can't go places and do things. And not only that, and this is, and we'll end with this. Relationships have changed, right? Right? Relationships have changed. So,
absolutely.
Has your circle changed since the quarantine? How and why?
Has my circle changed since the quarantine? Believe it or not, the only major effect that quarantine has really truly had on my life are like my necessities, as far as like not being able to get my nails done, my eyebrows done, but I still get my nails done. Things like that, like going to yoga class, running to the beach, having access to the beach. But for the most part, my friends in my circle know that this period of my life right now, and since I moved back from Chicago, has always been my grind. I lock myself in my apartment all the time for days and like razor focus, like tunnel vision on exactly like what I want to do. So my circle hasn't changed at all. I'm actually like loving this, because this has given me the opportunity to like not even feel bad about saying no to my friends, or feel bad about turning down going to events. I mean, you know how I was All-Star Weekend. Like, this is who I am, because my purpose has been this purpose for years now. So this quarantine has really just allowed me to reach out to people that I've been wanting to reach out to, and do events that I wanted to do, but I had to figure it out so that it's on Instagram and not in person. Right. So, you know, but I will say that I did notice who calls me every day when I'm casting and who hasn't called me at all. So that would be like one thing that I've definitely noticed, is like who's really calling my phone to check on me, or who was calling my phone every day just to see if there was a booking available. Right. So like, I'm gonna call you every day because they're casting for this and casting for that and everything, and I know you got something to do with it. But soon as that shuts down, sometimes you see who was really sincere about, because you call in this conversation like,
hey, how you doing? And da, 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 da. And then you might happen to say, oh yeah, I'm just working on this project. And they say, oh, for real? Are they looking for people at this, da, da, da? But then now that that's over, you don't hear from them, or you don't, they gone in the wind.
Yep.
But you better smooth believe, as soon as everything opens back
Oh,
up,
I already know.
they're gonna be like Johnny on the spot. And you know
Mhm.
what? And for those people, you don't have to tell them, hey, don't come around now. You don't have to do none of that because they know what they did. And all
Mhm.
you have to do is just stay who you are and just
Mhm.
keep moving and just do what you do, because it's not our job to remind people of the wrong that they've done or the mistakes that they've made, because
Right.
and it's just one of those things where I think that we have to learn how to and even when we're put in situations where things happen, we have to learn how to forgive, and we have to learn how to move forward, and we have to learn how to have peace, because that's what's going to help us in whatever we're doing. And I think people need to get that.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's next? What's next? What do you have? What do you have coming up? I know you have some virtual things coming up and things like that. What's next for you when it comes to the exercising and the motivating?
Total world takeover. That's what's next.
Okay.
No. What is next? It's really, I'm launching, well, I have them already, and we're doing like a full launch next month. I'm launching waist trainers, Alicia Samaan fitness waist trainers,
Mhm.
along with resistant bands. And that is really just to feed my weight loss challengers and all of those women out there who do want to lose weight, because I know how hard it is to find a really good waist trainer. I've been in my process. I've been on my journey. I also love resistant bands, but again, it's so hard to find real good ones. So
Mhm.
I decided to start that. So I have those two things popping off next month. I'm launching the Alicia Samaan show as well, which is my podcast, which is really going to talk about everything from reality TV, life after reality TV, and everything in the middle. People that have helped me, people that are doing really great in our communities. I understand that my story is an incredible story, but so is yours. And somebody who can not relate to me can relate to you. And that's why I want to give people the platform to
Right.
have their voice be heard.
Makes sense.
Along with that, I'm all about women empowerment. Like, don't get me wrong, I love guys. I love you guys. Love them. Okay, we all need them. However, there are so many women in this world that are lacking confidence, and they're lacking self-care. And I was once that woman. I was once that woman that didn't love herself the way that I deserved to be loved, and I allowed other people to not love me fully as well. So one of my number one missions in life is to really encourage women to love themselves. And if you don't love yourselves, just let me teach you the things that helped me to learn how to love myself. And so I started with this 21-day challenge. We have about 20 women participating in it. And every single day I encourage them, I motivate them. We're just like an incredible team. I have this awesome coach, Alicia, who I teamed up with, who she's helping me as well. So every single day, Monday through Friday. And this was actually something that I wanted to do over the summer. I had different venues picked out already. But then, quarantine hit. So I turned it into a virtual class is really what I want it to be. So Monday through Friday, I offer something. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have workouts. And then Tuesday, Thursday nights, I have classes to just inspire and hopefully build women's confidence.
And where can they see those classes virtually?
All on my Instagram. Everything is on my Instagram, Alicia_Samaan, right there.
You see it pop up? There it is. Okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to, and when you start your show, you got to have me on.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have you on. Sure.
But I'm looking forward to it, and I'll make sure that I'm sharing your information and things with people and what you're doing, because I think that's so dope that you're doing the women empowerment, because women have to learn how to come together, and not look at each other side-eyed or sideways, but understand that, hey, if you mean me well, then I want to hear what you have to say, and we can grow together. And I think, and that's something that's very needed in our, not only in our community, but in the world today. And we have to learn how lift each other up in order to be successful and obtain our goals. So I'm really excited about it, and I really appreciate what you're doing. And it was cool. It was cool interviewing you, and I learned some stuff. I learned some stuff about you that I didn't know, and it's so funny how because we originally met. I was with Dave. We were at the event, the
right?
event, I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And Dave, it was so funny because Dave was like, he's like, man, I gotta introduce you to her because y'all got a lot in common. She does this, and that, and all that. And Dave is he's a connector. He's always connecting. Yeah. But he has a good heart, and I think, like I always tell him, I said, dude, this is why you're going to be so successful, because you're not a hater. You're always trying to put people together that can build each other up, especially when you see the common goal. And people have to, people have to understand that when you see someone that's on a journey, there's something in their journey that they can do to help you, or that you can do to help them. But you have to be willing to be open and understand that you can make it happen.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry.
It takes a village in everything you do.
I agree. It definitely takes a village, and you're so right about Dave. He is one of those people, and those people are so important in our lives. We got to have those people around. So give us today.
And some of the comments that you can't see that I can see. I don't know if you can see on Facebook. Somebody said they're grateful that you came out on the other side. They're listening to your story. Somebody said it's all about the right people. When you say yes to you, God always send the right people. And people. Somebody said, "Praise the Lord that saved your life, young lady." And but it's you telling your story. You never know who's going to hear it, and you never know how they're going to be affected by it. And that's why we have to be willing to be open sometimes and tell people, what we've gone through and how we came out of it. And I'm so glad that you mentioned about your faith, because so many people are scared to talk about their faith. And my thing is this: the world talks about everything. They want you to believe in everything that they do and everything that's going on. So why are you scared to tell people where you get your strength from?
Exactly. I agree. You have to have faith. You have to have something that's going to push you over that point of being comfortable, because your success lies right outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that's going to get you over that line is going to be whatever's inside of you. And sometimes the only thing that's inside of you is faith. So when you put your all into just knowing that I'm going to come out of this will be okay, I will survive, just God or the universe or whoever you guys believe in, please help me. That's when your life really becomes everything that you want it to be, because you're not putting it into someone, that someone can leave your life at any point in time. You're not putting it into geography or a location, but you're putting it into yourself and the faith that's inside of you.
There you go. You have it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Sip and Savor Hour. And my special guest, Alicia, she shared a lot with you guys. Hope you got it. And you guys can follow her. It's right there on the screen. And make sure you check out what she has going on. Any ladies that's watching and listening, make sure you go check her out. She's all about women empowerment, and she's doing big things. And I can't wait till we get back up and running on the entertainment side. And then we know that you'll be doing your thing as working with you're a director for 4-Star Casting. And so anybody from 4-Star Casting watching, I made the mistake of saying founder, and that was just, me just doing whatever. And but I know that you're one of the directors and you're a motivational speaker, and you are an encouragement to people that are overcoming and that has overcome. And thank you for sharing your story. And I will definitely talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, Simeon. This was awesome. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate the love and support.
Thank you so much. And everybody, you're watching the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. And I'm going to take us out with a word from our sponsor. And I will see you guys later. And remember, be symbolic, simply your best, because being deeply rooted stimulates growth. And always remember, Philippians 4:13, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And never, never, ever give up on your dreams. And Alicia, I got to make sure I get you a shirt. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Of course.
I'll take black. I'll take black.
All right, my friend. You take care.
Thank you, Simeon. Have an awesome day.
You too.